New York, sorry, New York.
It's alright. You insulted me big time, man.
Now your station's in Jersey, though, right?
No, station's on Long Island.
Oh, Long Island.
My old station was in Jersey.
That's right.
You guys came to Atlantic City with Sean Patrick, remember?
Of course.
That was years ago. He's lying, but
I remember all of it.
I drove 7 hours to be here today. It's a really special thing. Obviously, I would go to the depths of hell to see Candlebox. You know what a fan I am.
I won't drive 7 minutes to see Candlebox. Fuck those guys.
Stop that.
He's
We're
really
talking about
humble.
Le Projet, right?
Yeah.
I'll drive fucking years to see those guys.
Now this is my friend Kevin. He's in a couple of bands.
Couple, two, three, many.
Tonight we're here to see Candlebox, but what we're talking about is actually. Want to hand me one of those 45s?
Yeah.
Where is my assistant? Yeah, there you go. We're real professional in this video. This is something called Little Shits, which I'll probably have to delete from the radio portion. Yeah.
This is something called vinyl.
The camera woman is 27 years old. She probably never saw one of these.
What is that?
Yeah.
Big CD. That's a big CD.
She's gonna try to jam it and then.
Doesn't fit. Yeah. 45. Punk rock.
So let's talk real quick about the purpose of Little Shits.
Well, I mean, listen, it's, this whole bully thing that goes on. We were in the studio working on the record, and I had just somehow on Facebook, I just come across this story about a 14-year-old girl who just committed suicide because of cyberbullying. And I read the story, and I was just like, man, this is fucked up. And my buddy Ricky's here from Texas. We grew up together in Texas, and I got the shit beat out of me all the time. I got bullied a lot.
You moved a lot, right?
I did. I moved a lot, and I had to make friends fast. And in that process, you make friends that turn out you go to rival high schools, and they find out halfway through grade school you're going to a rival high school, and they're dicks to you. So I got bullied a lot, but luckily I was a strong enough kid to fight back, and I had great friends around me that were always there for me when I needed them, and it just affected me. I immediately went back when I read that. I immediately went back to my high school years and the shit that I had experienced, and I was like, you read all this stuff, people tweet shit, people tweet shit about me, they tweet shit about Candlebox, they tweet shit about other bands, they tweet shit about Tom Morello, cop killers, supporters, all this bullshit. And it's unacceptable. And then when you read a story about a child that has their whole life ahead of them and they just want to be a kid, they just want to live their lives, and they end up taking it because of this shit, I was really affected by it. And that's why I wrote Little Shits. And that's what they are. There's these fucking kids that just, or adults that do it, these trolls and shit online.
Everybody's stuff on the internet.
Yeah, and that's what they are. They're just little shits, all of them. I constantly find myself wanting to respond to shit I read, and I have to not. I have to make sure I don't do that.
You put something in that video PSA where you're talking to the kids who are bullied, and the one thing that hit me is you kept saying, it's gonna get better. Find faith in music, find faith in art, it's gonna get better. And I think that's important, because yes, I wanna talk to the bullies and tell them to stop. But somebody has to tell these kids to hang on, to be strong, because I don't want to see anyone losing their life for a bunch of assholes.
Right, and that's the problem. But there's only so much you can do as a parent. There's only so much you can do as a friend. I watch these 30-second fights videos and these fucking kids. It's like, man, I don't want to grow up in that. I'd hate to be a kid nowadays, but. Yeah, it does get better. You just have to stay focused. You have to find that outlet. And if it's the school, most kids are afraid to go to their parents. Most kids are afraid to go, I'm getting picked on, or something like that. And so they don't say anything, and then that's when they end up getting themselves in trouble. And you have to trust your parents. But as a parent, you have to have a great relationship with your child. You have to make sure your kid understands that you're going to experience things. My kid's in 2nd grade, and they do an anti-bully campaign every year at the school. And he wears a shirt, for a week that says, I stand up for bullying. It's going on right now. Or I stand up against bullying. And I tell him all the time, listen, you have to understand that the littlest things you say are going to affect you in the long run. They're going to affect that person that you're talking to, and people are not going to like you. People are going to pick on you. You have to be able to talk to us about it, and we can discuss it. And as you grow older, you're going to experience it more and more and more. And he's asked me, so were you bullied? I said, yeah, man, I got my ass handed to me several times by kids that did not like me. Then I was lucky enough to become friends with a kid who was a mean son of a bitch. And he stumbled onto a situation with me in a high school locker room. And his name was Jay Burdett, Mercer Ryan. And
now you were skinny, long hair.
I was a skinny, just a stupid kid, you know. And these two seniors were starting shit with me, and because I was dating the one guy's ex-girlfriend or something like that. And I had just moved to the school, and they started pushing me around. And Jay came in and fucking cleaned that clock to me. And I didn't even know him. I didn't know who he was, and he's like, dude, you never have to worry about this shit, man. And we were best friends from that moment on. I still talk to him once a week. I mean, he's one of my closest friends. But yeah, I was lucky enough to have somebody step up for me, you know. And but yeah, it does get better. You know, you gotta fucking stay the course. I keep swearing. You're gonna have to edit this whole thing.
It's all right. There'll be a lot of beeping. It'll sound like one of those
Howard Stern
emergency service broadcasts.
Oh, yeah. Television and some shit.
The big thing for me is when you said it'll get better. I'll never forget it. I was 15 years old. It was 1993. The Candlebox album just came out. I was going through a hell of a time in school, and home was rough too, so I just wanted to get away. And there were thoughts of suicide, and there were thoughts of just ending it. And I was having a really bad day. I was getting pushed around to school, so I went for a job. And I had the Candlebox tape cassettes, for those that know what that is, in my Walkman.
Things like this.
You put a pencil in. Tape snapped. I was in wrong car. It was the worst day, and I mean, I really wanted to end it that night because it was like the end, you know. It was like everything else was going bad, and something in my head kept saying it'll get better. Now, 20 years went by. I'm interviewing you on my cell phone. I got the app to record. It was for the Irving Plaza show. I'll never forget this. I bent down to tie my shoe, and I looked up. I was at the same exact intersection that I was that day. I thought about killing myself.
Wow.
And it was like 20 years later, here I am, full circle, with the guy who I was looking for to get his music to help me, and he's on the phone with me.
I'm kind of like God. I'm kind of a God. I'm just saying.
And it's true, because when God says it's going to get better, I looked to Candlebox. You say look through art, look through things. I looked through Candlebox, and here I am with my friend, Kevin Martin, 20 years later, and I guess we both survived bullying.
We're there.
Yeah.
Still we are. Still around.
So that's what it is. So real quick,
You little shits better watch out. We're coming for you.
What's the What You Say hashtag campaign?
What You Say is it's a campaign that's basically helping to raise money in the name of I forget the kid's name. I'm not prepared for that. But the kid that was bullied, that his mother we used in the video for the little shits. She started a foundation in his name, and every dollar that's raised by that T-shirt being sold goes to that foundation to help kids that need to talk to somebody, help them get through the bullying process, and get awareness. You know, like you have to raise awareness. A lot of these schools, man, you know, inner city schools, they don't have a program to deal with this, and a lot of these kids that are living inner city, they don't have anywhere to go. They can't talk to their parents. Both their parents are working, they're lock-key kids, you know, whatever it is. And we're just trying to raise awareness. You know? That's all it's about. You know? It's never going to stop, obviously, but if you can affect one kid that affects another kid that affects another kid, you start that process of healing, if you will, and making it putting it out in the open and making people aware that there is a major issue. A lot of people don't like to talk about it. I'm not afraid to. You know?
Or be afraid to talk to your kid about it.
No, not at all. You know, and parents, you have to talk to your kids. You have to help them understand. Some asshole wrote, you know, you want to teach your kids about bullying, teach them how to fight. That's not what you do. You're not a good parent. It's not like my dad taught me how to fight only because he said, listen, next time that I came home, bloody nose, how to fight, he said, this is what you do. And if it happens again, punch the kid back. But it's not teaching kids how to fight. Because my mother's like, no, that's not what you do. You know? Kids are afraid to go tell a teacher. Don't be afraid to tell a teacher. I'm getting picked on. This kid's pushing me around. It's pushing everybody around. You know, you have to make it, you have to make people aware of it. And it's not that you're being a pussy. People have to stop. You know, because that kid's going to go too far. Right? He's going to end up killing somebody, or you're going to kill yourself, and it's just not the way it's supposed to be. You know, people die every day, but they shouldn't be dying because of this.
Right, and remember, the bullies themselves, you're saving them too, because you said it, they could wind up in jail.
Yeah.
So you stop them from doing it now. Maybe they're not assholes in adult life, and maybe
most
avoid
of the
a felony.
time they have problems at home.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. They have an older brother that's an asshole, or their dad's an asshole, their mom's an asshole, their mom's a drunk, their dad's a drunk, whatever. Or they don't have parents. You know, one parent's in jail or something like that. You got to reach that kid, you know, somehow. And if you can't get it through his parents, somebody's got to be able to get to him and say it's okay, it's gonna be fine. You know, the schools can start programs where they can have a, you know, like a AA for, you know, kids, like, or, you know, no bullying class or some shit like that. I don't know, like something. You know, we're just trying to do something. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're trying to do something.
This is Kevin Martin. I'm not kidding when I say he did save my life a few times, but it is gonna get better. Trust us.
Yeah.